Okay, back at it. Trying to press the forward spline bearing onto the spline shaft, and I had a success. Some unconventional means. So I needed to be able to press against the bearing with the I don't know what you call that, the rod. And to do that, I used some old bearings and set on top of the spline shaft like this, and that allows the push against these bearings, yet also allow the spline shaft, the spline to move upward. And I used my little 4-ton hydraulic jack underneath to apply the counter pressure. All right, this is done, so get it back to the bench. Note to self: when positioning the transmission back onto the workbench, do not rest it on the spline shaft. When I set the transmission down, I rested on the spline shaft, as sometimes I'm not thinking, and what it did was it pushed the spline shaft about 3/8 of an inch out of the bearing. So as Curly once said in Three Stooges, trying to think but nothing happens. And that's the way I feel right now. So I've got to hoist this thing back over to the press and reassemble my apparatus and push it another 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I've reseated the bearing onto the spline shaft after my little snafu. I've worked through all the gears. They all slide nice and smooth, and they engage where they're supposed to. I even have the move this. Even have the pin alignment correct. Two things I'm concerned about. Number one is the bearing retaining ring is about a 1/16 of an inch or 3/32 of an inch from being flush to the transmission case, and it floats. In other words, the shaft floats back and forth about 3/32 of an inch or so, and I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. Secondly, the seal that fits over the spline shaft, it doesn't make sense to me. It's the right dimensions according to the manufacturer, but I don't know what it seals because it's much larger than the spline shaft diameter itself. Plus, I think this is the one that I actually took off because it's the only one that's remaining. Obviously, next time I'll keep better records. But it's much thicker. It theoretically fits inside the bearing retainer housing. But it doesn't make any sense to me what it seals because it's much larger than the spline shaft. So any advice on this would be appreciated. Not much of a bird update tonight. Mother bird's been out of here the entire time feeding her hatchlings. But each time I get the camera out, as I see her dropping the food in the hatchling's mouth, she flies away. So I suppose she doesn't like someone watching her eat or feed her hatchlings. Good night.